Welcome to New Realities. I'm Alan Steinfeld. I have really an amazing program today. I'm here with an airline pilot who actually had a UFO encounter while flying his airline. And this is a picture that you're seeing now, similar to what sort of that is the situation. Let me introduce you to Agustin Rodriguez. Welcome, Agustin, to the program.
Hello, Alan. It's a pleasure to be here in your channel to share this information.
Yeah, no, this is exciting because, you know, you really haven't been too public with this particular event and what's been going on because it was a transformation as well as just a sighting. So do you want to talk about the year and what happened while you were flying? It was a commercial jet, and talk about your experience.
Yeah, well, about my experience, I've been a pilot for 22 years. I started in the Uruguayan Air Force when I was 18. I'm 42 right now. I started flying when I was 20. And yeah, I spent 12 years in the Uruguayan Air Force as an officer. And then I changed to the commercial, to the airliners. So I got a job flying a 737 in Central America. And in one of those flights, it was 2009. It was the 5th of January, if I remember correctly. And we were flying from Panama to Cali, Colombia, during the night, very clear night. It was a beautiful night, full of stars. And we were descending. I was a pilot flying the aircraft. I was seated on the right seat. I was the first officer, so I was not the captain. The captain is on the left. I was flying on the right seat. And we saw this white light coming from the right, but it's quite normal for us to see something like that, actually, because it's how we see aircraft.
What time of night was this? What time about?
Well, I don't really remember what time, but I don't know, around 10 p.m., something like this. It
Right.
just,
I'm not sure. You were flying south from Panama to Colombia, yes.
Yes, correct.
And what did you see exactly?
Well, we were flying a 737 and we saw a light, a white light on the right, but that's what we do. We always look outside to identify other aircraft around us and to be aware of what is happening around us. Of course, despite we have a onboard radar, we still look outside to see always what is going on. So yeah, we identified this aircraft because in that moment for us was an aircraft on our right side at 3 o'clock when using our language in aviation. And I told the captain that it was an aircraft there. And okay, all normal to that point, but it was getting closer, you know, and it.
You thought it was an aircraft because you saw a light, so you just assumed it was another aircraft.
Yes, because when we approach the ground, we turn on the lights. The aircraft has many lights on the right wingtip. It has a green light on the left wingtip. It has a red light. And when we're going to land, we turn on the landing lights, which is white lights illuminating to the front, and have some other lights as a red beacon up and down in the fuselage also, as well as some lights in the tail. So that for us, it was another aircraft. It was a little bit weird just because we turned the lights in that region at 18,000 feet, and we were higher than that. So it was not really normal to see the front lights of an aircraft, the white lights, because we are above that altitude that we actually turn the lights on. So that's okay. Sometimes pilots, when they see another aircraft, they turn the lights on just to be identified, you know. But the light was getting closer and closer, and I was expecting to see the aircraft on our radar, but never happened. So I told the captain to ask the air traffic control if there was something around, and they say no, there is nothing in your sector. But we, of course, responded, no, there is something here, and there's an aircraft is coming into us.
It didn't show,
But it was quite.
let me just say, it didn't show up on your radar or on the air traffic control radar either, right? Is that what you're saying?
It was not. It was the radar had nothing at that point in our environment around us, and in our onboard radar was nothing. But at that point, we thought that it was the United States Air Force, because they have some aircraft around Colombia doing the drug fighting against drugs and all this, you know, trying to catch these guys. And well, we thought that maybe they are not using the transponder, which is the device that sends the signal to other aircraft and to the air traffic control to be identified. So, okay, we thought, well, maybe they're not using the transponder because they want to be not in the radar for whatever purpose. That was our thought at that point, the way we were thinking. But it was getting closer, and we again told air traffic control that it was this aircraft getting closer, and that was not normal anymore, and say, well, there is nothing there. Well, I was with my hands in the controls, of course, at that point, still above 18,000 feet, and it was coming slowly, but it's very, for us that we understand movement in the air, we were descending, you see, we were descending, and this thing was flying parallel to us, approaching and descending at the same time. So there is no aircraft. Aircraft cannot do this kind of movement. So an aircraft was either converging to the same airport, or it's going to pass in one way or the other. So at some point we had to see the red or the green light, depending where it goes. But it was very unusual to see.
A little scared? Were you getting a little worried that there was?
Not really at that point. This was more like being amazed for what was going on. And as soon as it was a little bit closer, we saw it very clearly being a sphere of light. Just that. Pure light being like a ball, you know, a sphere of light. It was very bright, very white, but was not like irradiating light and illuminating everything around. It's some kind of light that, of course, I cannot really describe. It's not as we are used to with light. And it was not blinding us.
It was like a glow, an orb that was contained. The light was contained. It wasn't.
Yeah. The thing that the orb is the best way to describe it, because we know that we are in this UFO environment. We understand what an orb is. So this could be an orb, but a big one. Not the classical orb that it's like a baseball size flying around. This was.
At you and the pilot, and did anyone else on board see this as well?
Not that we know. At that point, the cabin is being prepared because we're going to land, and cabin crew is taking the service, and they are busy, and people is the same. People is passing the trays and getting ready for descent. So they're not really enjoying what is outside, but no one reported anything. But yeah, we could see at some point that it was very clear, a sphere of light. And of course, for me, it was very understandable that there was not from this planet, at least to the point that I am aware of the things that can fly in this planet, because we also know that there are other things that we don't know but belong to humans. As I have always been very open to this idea of life outside our planet, for me has been common knowledge since I'm a kid. I start thinking in my head, come closer, come closer, come closer. And it was coming closer, and it was coming closer and coming closer. But of course, I was very excited about it, because it was amazing what I was looking at. And say, come closer, but it came so close that I just triggered my instincts. So my instinctive reaction was going to be, of course, to dive the aircraft and to avoid the collision, you know. But it was pure instinct. And it was amazing because if we can get that half of a second and we can enlarge it and make it longer, so we go very slow through this sequence where the mind sends the reaction or the order to the hand to move. In that precise moment, even before I could react and could move my hand to dive the aircraft, which was going to be a mess in the back, of course, it just stopped and immediately, absolutely immediately and simultaneously made a 90-degree turn to the front, horizontal, stop descending. So it's 90-degree coming from the right, stopping immediately and moving to the front, did 3 blinks, whoop, 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 and then disappear into the night.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
That is just,
Yeah.
wow. And what did the pilot say to you, the guy next to you?
Well, at that point, we actually went into the startle effect. You know, it's just not knowing what just happened. We just were like amazed, and we couldn't say much more. You know, and we were like this freeze moment of what just happened, because we are people that are trained to know about physics and how things move. And we actually know that if there is a being inside and doing this kind of maneuver, the G-force could destroy this person immediately. So for our minds, our understanding, of course, there is nothing can do such a thing, such a maneuver. But of course, uh, we just start flying 100 years ago, and I understand that we are quite far still from our potential. But yeah, we just stay there for a few seconds until the captain say, okay, let's talk about this later and let's do the procedures and land. So we landed, all good, nothing happened in the aircraft, all the systems were absolutely perfect, no issues at all. We landed, and that was the end of it.
You didn't report this to the anybody?
No, we actually reported it to the air traffic control, but we never received a call or nothing from them. They just said, now I remember, they say, we're going to report it to the Colombian Air Force. So I give you the date for those who have the means or want to investigate about it. I remember, if I remember correctly, it was 2009. It was the 5th of May during the night. For those who want to go and check if they have some way of doing it, the recording should be there, or I don't know if they keep it or not that long.
Okay. So was that was a transformative experience for you? Then something happened. Talk about what happened after that to you.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it was something great, fantastic. And the thing is, it caused a big impact on me. It was a big change. And I wanted to write a book about this because for us, we just had contact with the vehicle from other planets. So it's quite interesting, I guess, at least from my point of view. And I wanted to share this information with people. So I was going to write a book, but of course, if I write a book about this, it's going to be what, 3, 4, 5 pages? You see, it took a few minutes only to tell you the story. So I was not going to be a really interesting book. So I said, okay, I'm going to investigate more about this and let's see what else can I find to support my story. And that's what I did. Then I start reading, I start researching, and I start asking other pilots about what they have seen, if any. At the beginning, I was not getting results, but as soon as I started sharing my information with them, my experience, they start sharing their experience with me. So that was very interesting for me and amazing to understand that so many pilots have had encounters with these UFOs. People have been encountering them during the day, during the night, from close distance, long distance.
Did they tell you their story? Like how many? Would you say 50% of the pilots you talked to, or 25%, or what would you say?
I don't know. I cannot really give you a percentage right now because it could be
Right.
just not accurate. But there was many, the many
Do you
pilots.
want
Yes.
to talk about some of the more fantastic stories that somebody told you?
Well, one of the pilots saw a vehicle shape hovering over the Amazon when they were going from Panama to somewhere in Brazil. I don't remember. And he says that the vehicle was hovering and they were looking at it. It was brownish and it was just hovering there and they flew below it. And they could see like a symbol. It was like a propeller, the propeller for a big boat, you know, with these three things. Well, it was something like that, that symbol that was there. So that was one of them. And then another one in the coast of Ireland, he saw a cigar-shaped vehicle moving in front of them below, and all of a sudden it just went very fast.
Have you written these down? All these stories by airline pilots that you've?
I have the stories. Yes, I do have it. I'm writing all these, and well, maybe one day I sit down and write the book.
Why not?
But
yeah, go ahead. Yes. Then
yeah,
what?
well, and then I flew with an F-15 former pilot of the armed forces in the United States, and he told me that he was very high, quite high. I think it was 61,000 feet. I don't remember correctly, but the average for an airliner, it's like 35,000. We can go up to 41,000. That's from there and below the airliners fly. 43, the one that goes highest. Then, of course, the commercial jets go higher, and the fighter jets goes even higher. So he was very high, and this green light just came on top of them, and it was very bright, and all of a sudden just accelerated and disappeared in front of them. So like this, so many. So yeah, I've been keeping those records.
So what was the spiritual, what was the spiritual transformation? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. At the beginning, I couldn't say there was any. It was just very from the material point of view, and I was researching from the material point of view. I have never had any kind of spiritual teachings, or I was not in the spiritual path at all at that point in my life. On the contrary, I could say, and the spiritual awakening started happening even years after that, because I was researching, I was getting to know more things, and I start understanding that yes, these encounters have a connection with the spiritual path of people. And as I continue my research, one day I was flying during the night, thinking about this event, and I thought, I was looking outside and I thought, are you there? And for my big surprise, boom, one light just shined to my right. And I said, wow, well, what was that? And you know,
you were flying another commercial airline at that point?
Yeah, I was flying in another one at this point. And then, of course, you know how the mind tried to explain things with a I don't know, it was a satellite or something like this. You always try to come with an explanation. So I said, next night I flew. I said, I'm going to try again, and I thought, are you there? And then boom, the flash happened again. Oh, I said, whoa, something is going on here. What is going on? And I did it again, and it happened again. So that was for me what triggers again with another thing that happened. my big curiosity, because I understood, okay, so maybe having that experience was not a coincidence and there was more into it. So, of course, and my investigation were more into the spiritual. And one day I was in my home country in Uruguay, and I was talking to a lady, and in her house she has this board announcing like Reiki, Akashic record readings, all these kind of things, that
Yeah.
I had no information about this. But as I was researching, as I was interested in all these metaphysical things, I told her, I know nothing about this, but I would like to know. And she told me, okay, come tomorrow, we do something. It was Sunday. I was there early morning at 8, boom, right there like a soldier. And I was come in, and she sat me in the chair, and she had crystals around. She put the incense, a few candles. So for me, it was kind of weird because was not into my normal life, these kind of things. And she said, okay, we're going to do the Akashic Records reading. That for me was like speaking in Chinese, because had no meaning at all at that point, no meaning at all. And okay, she said, close your eyes, and she started doing some kind of meditation, saying a few things, and then she starts telling me things, and and telling me that I was from another planet and things like that, and I had no idea about this, no idea that I was coming from another planet to do things, and a lot of things she said that day. So when she took me out, I was feeling like all my body was tingling, tingling, tingling everywhere, and I for me it's like I was floating.
Mhm.
So she put me out and started explaining me to this. For me, of course, telling me that I was coming from other planet, and say, what is she talking about? And and then she told me, you want to know more? And I said, no, thank you. I'm okay with that, because it was too much for me that day.
But wait, you didn't want to hear it, but yet something affected you because you said your body was tingling. So two things are
Yes,
going on, right?
yes. From that day, something happened in me that I was with such a thirst of knowledge that I almost disconnected from my normal life, because I was every minute I had free, I was reading and investigating like no other time before. But something happening to me, something was opened, and yeah, with time I learned that was the awakening of my consciousness, which I had no idea that such a thing existed, and I had no idea that what was the star seed. I had no idea about any of that. So I was having these experiences that, of course, yeah, flying and seeing these flashes of light, and for me it was like a confirmation for my previous experiences and for what she told me. And I said, well, probably these guys where I come from want to communicate with me for some reason, and okay, let's go through it. Let's do it. And well, you
You
see,
said,
dreams.
to yourself while you were flying, after you had this session with this woman, you said, okay, let's see what
So
wants.
yeah, I started exploring more, and of course, once you see those saying hello, and I kid you not, it happened so many times that one day I was thinking into myself, you don't have anything to do, you don't have a work, a home to go. Why are you around all the time? And now I laugh to myself, man, you're such a
You said this about the UFOs. You said, don't you have anything better to do? Is that what you were
yeah,
talking
yeah, yeah. I was
about?
thinking in my head, because of course I didn't know what it was happening. I had no idea of why they were doing this. So in one of my dreams, because I started having these vivid dreams and out of the body experiences, and it was quite amazing. Again, they showed me that I was in a big gathering of people, and I stood up and I said, I am going to tell them. So that was my agreement, and that's when I put everything into place, and I understood that since I'm a kid, a very little age, um, I knew I was going to be a pilot. I knew it. And my mother is a teacher, my father is a police, and to be a pilot in those days was, as it is now, was very expensive, and it was not doable for me. I don't know. Out of nowhere, my dad comes one day. It's not that I was asking, and he comes with a brochure from the Air Force, and for me it was like, aha, is this? And yeah, I went into the Air Force. I got my wings, and then all these experiences happened for me, of course, to have something to relate to people and to speak about. And I ended up forming a group here where I live in the Middle East, to not only speak about these things, but to give proof to people of what is going on. Because you can find a lot of material out there, but until you don't really have the experience, or until you don't really experience the contact, it's not a big change. It's not a profound change in people, you know.
How many UFOs have you seen in your flying? How many times?
Well, most of the time, there was the big one was that one that I mentioned at the beginning, and then has been mostly in these kind of flashes. Then another one, we were flying the coast of Africa over the water, and one vehicle appeared at 11 o'clock, slightly to the left of the aircraft and below, and moved very fast into us. So it appeared out of nowhere. It traveled, and it went into the nowhere again very fast. So
Wow.
all that I saw, it was like you see the lights of a car passing by very fast during the night. It was red and white. And yes, it went out of the nowhere, traveled into us, and a little bit ahead of the nose of the aircraft, just disappeared. So when people speak about the dimensions and all this, they say, yeah, I have seen that. I know.
When you see these craft, are you getting a communication, or is it more like, wow, that's interesting? Is there...
Well, they told me that also the flashes have carry information. So they were giving me downloads, as far as I understood later on, because for me, when I was reading something or talking to someone, it was very easy to understand what was real and what was not. So it's like you get a knowing. You don't even know from where, but you have the knowing. So yeah, that's how it works in my case.
Wait, so just tell me, the woman does the reading, and then you, I'm also getting good comments here on our chat. I was just saying, people like what you're saying. And then you have this awakening, right? You have a kind of spiritual, talk a little bit more about when you start to get downloads and when this consciousness opened up for you. That's the part I'm interested in.
It's I don't know. It's many things happen in between, but of course at the beginning was not easy, because all these strange things were happening, and I actually didn't have anyone to speak about this, or there is no school, or at least I didn't know about any place to go or to, I don't know, share this with someone, and someone to help me, because I know that I'm having this contact with beings from other planets, but I have no idea about how it's happening or why, or so it was quite hard at the beginning, I could say. And And it took some time to connect the dots, to be honest. So the good thing is that I have my brother, and my brother, he's older than me. He's an agronomical engineer. He's in Uruguay. He was a big support because he's a clairvoyant. Um, since he was 8 years old, he was sleeping, 8 or 9 years old. He was sleeping, and someone grabbed his hand and told him it is time. From that day onwards, he started seeing entities or having all sorts of experiences, but he never developed this gift because, of course, he was living his normal life. So until I had my awakening, that we start traveling together in this path. So then he came to Middle East, and as at that point I knew some people who also had knowledge about this because of my investigation. He got trained by these people, and his capabilities were big time growing, you know. So yeah, he was a big support to me because he can talk to my guides as I'm talking to you right now. So when I connected the dots, I decided to create a program here to give support to people who was going through their own consciousness awakening. And that's what we do now. Just today, we're going to have a meeting here to prepare for contact. So in these meetings, I just tell people about my experiences and what they can do to have their own experiences. Now we are creating a web page with the two pillars, let's say, which I consider two pillars for a better understanding of this spiritual path. One of them is the law of one that you might be aware of course. And I think that the law of one, even being a book that is a little bit hard to read, contains a lot of information relevant to what is going on in our planet nowadays. And then the next pillar is the knowledge I have received from the training that a Rama instructor gave me.
Oh yeah, Rama. I've interviewed him. Sixto Paz, the head of the Rama.
Sixto Paz was the creator of Rama in 1974 when, through a psychographic contact, he established a meeting with these beings in Chilca in Peru. At certain time, this vehicle, this spaceship appear, and then from there they start sharing information and a lot of experiences, of course. So Rama is very known in South America. Now it's in other countries, has been growing. And I received training from an instructor from Uruguay because he interviewed me, and then we had a friendship. And of course, I brought him to Middle East to teach the group, and it was very good. We had a very interesting confirmations and contacts. So why I do have those two pillars? Okay, just read the law of one and you will understand about spirituality. And then with the Rama teachings, you will understand how you can make contact by yourself. It's not different from what Stephen Greer is doing with the CE5, you know. But the difference, I guess, is that Rama was created by these beings from other planets, that they form a group that is specifically for contact. And they have certain, I think it's 43 guides that work specifically with the contact of Rama. And it just, of course, the aim is, as the word Rama says, Rama means light and Ma means earth. So the idea is to bring light to planet Earth. And that's the whole idea about it.
Well, Rama, they form these, what are they called? Zenders, where people stand around and they open up a kind of portal. And you learned how to do that?
Well, it's not us doing that, but the guides are the ones who do that. They offer initiations. What are those initiations and what's the reason for having them? It's like during meditation, you can get your cosmic name. cosmic name is your sound vibration that carries your energy, let's say, in some way. So by the use of this cosmic name during meditation, you can see your past lives, and it's like a path to start developing your psychic abilities, you know, because we all have these abilities. And another initiation is cesium crystals, and they project this pyramid of lights, this cesium material that then Ramas integrate on their chest, and this is it's like forming a new chakra. It's a boost of energy, and it's also opening the capabilities of.
Have you felt
people.
that? Have you experienced that yourself?
I have experienced the cosmic name. I do have my cosmic name, and we are going to the desert today, and let's see what happens, because it requires preparation. It requires certain understanding of it, and then if it happens, it happens. So today we are going to have contact in the desert, let's say, and we are going to try to get them. And then, of course, they can open these sendras, and those are portals that can be used to go in and talk to them in this vibration that they create, where the two vibrations can match, and then you can have a talk and experience with them. And there is some people that, like Sisto Bas, he was taken to their planet and shared a lot of information. Actually, I think it was 22 people was taken to that planet, and only a handful committed to the program or to the Rama mission, or mission Rama, because it was too much and they couldn't actually go public about this.
Well, can you talk about, you said you started to put all the pieces together about what was happening and all that. Can you talk about that process? Like, what did you start to realize from this contact?
Well, from these contacts, from my lucid dreams, from my astral travels, I first understood that all this existed, that for me before was not there. And then if you read the law of one material, you understand that what is happening here in our planet is just we are in a process of growth and evolution. And during this process, we are going through a lot of experiences that are going to help us in having a different view and expanding our consciousness to be able to progress into the next stage of the spiritual path, you know?
Mm-hmm. But when you put these ideas together, did you feel something happened to you in your mind psychologically? Something open, something changed?
For me, it's just knowing that I decided to be here for this reason, open my interest, of course, but my commitment to share what I'm sharing and not being afraid of what could happen, because of course to share these experiences is a little bit of taboo within our industry yet, although it's changing because the Federal Aviation Administration has issued a regulation that allows pilots to share or encourage pilots to share this information more and more. So it is changing, and for me, the commitment is full for this activity, and there is actually no other thing that excites me more than being able to share these experiences, this knowledge that I was given through my experience and my research, and of course to teach in a way people or help people to make contact with these other beings.
No, that is so good. So tell me, you're going to go out to the desert tonight in the morning. What happens? How do you set this up? And, you know,
well, the preparation requires three things, which are not difficult at all. To have or to make contact with beings from other planets, it's absolutely and completely open for every human being. You don't need to be a saint, because I was not. You don't need to be a Mother Teresa from Kolkata to have these contacts. Every human being can have these contacts as long as you open your mind and your heart. and commit to it. So you need to have or do three things. And it's not even a must, because when I had contact, I was not in this path of spirituality. But if you really want to have contact with these beings who are living in a higher vibration plane of existence, you need to take care of three things: mind, body, and spirit. How you take care of your mind by, of course, reprogramming yourself, because we have been programmed with all these negative inputs for ages. And we need to take all this garbage out as we take the garbage out of our house. So take this garbage out of your mind to start vibrating. When you start thinking differently and even integrating these materials like the loved one and many others, of course, your vibration changes. And then body, to take care of the body, of course, I have been in the United States many times, and you walk 3 steps and there is a fast food restaurant there, and you see, you turn on the TV and it's buy this cheesy pizza and you will love it. And yeah, I love pizza. Yeah, I like pizza.
I
But
don't
of
eat
course,
pizza.
well,
I can't.
if you really want to take care of yourself and want to do higher things, you want to have higher experiences, you need to do higher things. So take care of your body. The body is the temple of the soul, you know, the vehicle that is transporting us. So why is people smoking and drinking and eating all this greasy food? And I'm not judging here at all. I'm just saying, if you want to have higher experiences, you need to do higher things. And of course, they are teaching us that to change to a high vibratory rate diet, it's quite important in this way. So I began visit.
What foods are high vibratory that you suggest that would help?
It's mostly plants, you know, and but again, it's not that if you eat meat you're not going to have contact. It's not that the contact is not going to be available to you. It will be available, of course, but think about what you're doing to yourself. Think about the way that they treat the animals before killing it in a line with 2,000 cows more that have been injected with antibiotics for a long time, and then all this fear into the meat and the flesh and bones of the being. It's going to be transferred in some way to our body. So all these chemicals, and I say many good channelers, very amazing channelers, they need to eat meat to ground themselves. So what were our ancestors doing? They were going to hunt the animal. They were even doing this praying before hunting. Thank you, God, because we are going to hunt now and all these things. So they were going there. They used to hunt the animal. It was free, eating in the free range, and they were killing one, not 10. And
Right.
they were killing the exact one. They were not killing the ones that were not ready, or they were just for eating, just to give support to the family, the tribe, and then they were blessing this animal. So this changes completely the vibration of the food that you are intaking, if you know what I mean.
So you do these 3 things: you clean your body, your mind, and spiritual purification in a way. And then
Yeah, that's the whole idea. The whole idea for all humans, actually, because we live in a very, very dense environment compared to what these beings out there live. And one of them said a very funny thing. They said to some people that I really like what they are receiving. They say, these beings from other planets said, to eat a hot dog for me is like for you eating a brick.
I agree. It's awful. I do not eat hot dogs at all. But
And then
yeah.
I was having a conversation with a being called Ardif, a 6th density being, and the channeler was Rob Gauthier. That I love him and the work
What was
he
the
does.
channeler's name? You said who?
The name of the non-terrestrial being is Ardif. And the channeler, that it is a trans channeler, it's Rob Gauthier.
Where's he located? Where's he from?
He's located in the United States. His webpage, it's etwhisperer.com. And anyone can hire his services. And it is amazing, amazing. So one day I was talking to Ardif during my research and exploration of consciousness. And I asked Ardif, just tell me something for me to have an idea about how your reality is. And he told me this in your planet, he was talking to me, so in our planet, planet Earth, the lightest thing is light. See, the lightest thing that we can find in our planet Earth is light. So he told me, in my planet, a rock is lighter than the light on planet Earth. You know?
I like that. Thank you.
A rock is lighter than the light on planet Earth. So now you understand in how dense place we are living in. So what we call these beings of light, yes, there are beings of light. We are all beings of light. But Ardif, in his sixth density planet, he looks at him and he has a body, he has eyes, he has legs, you know? And of course, if we want to make contact with these beings, we need to get out of this density in some way. And how you do that? By taking care of mind, body, and spirit. Meditation is of utmost importance, of course, in this travel. And everything in our society has been put there on purpose to keep our vibration low. From music, food, cinema, was TV, and now it's more channels in YouTube, like the one that you have, and then now we can speak about consciousness. But 20 years back, it was not really a place to go and speak about this. So it's all about wars, negativity, gossiping, and this is everything. All this is low vibration. So everything has been put in place to keep the consciousness of humans in this low vibration, so we couldn't see the reality, the real reality.
We're in a battle for consciousness, and it's an individual sort of mission. It's up to each person to choose. Do you want to choose the lower density or the higher density with thoughts, foods, movies, television? It's a very personal choice to fight the programming that wants to keep us in density. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So if you work on these three things and so tell me what happens in your group. So you look for people who are worked on those three levels and you go out to the desert, and then what happens? What's your process?
No, actually, we just look for people. It's not that we look for people. People just is attracted to the group in some way or the other by word of mouth. And just because they are having experiences, what we call weird experiences, vivid dreams, astral travels, seeing things.
I don't call them weird though, but yes, some people would.
Well, what the normal society called it weird, you know? Yeah. So they find themselves not really knowing who talk to about this. And then one in the group hears something or say something that triggers or allow these people to know that they are in the same frequency, the same vibration, and then they start talking and they are invited to the group. So the rest of the group is inviting more people as soon as they see that they are in the same vibration, you know? And we have these gatherings, we do meditations, and we speak about this. So in the group, there's no need for always, no push to do anything. So I'm not going to push anyone. The group itself is not pushing people to be vegan or vegetarian or even meditate. Look, you have a group here, you have like-minded people. If you are in your awakening and you need someone, come to the group.
So what happens then? Okay, so you go out to the desert as a group, and then how do you create the energy field?
Well, we just meditate. We just meditate. We use the Rama meditation, but any meditation, we actually don't need a protocol. It's something that anyone can do. It's just meditation. Of course, individual meditation is very good, but when you get into a group for meditation, you know very well that the vibration goes very high. And then we start having experiences. People who are clairvoyant or are more perceptive, they see things around, they see beings around, or they do the flashes in the sky saying, hello, here we are, or we have all kind of spiritual experiences. So then it serves as confirmation. It put us even more together in this path of awakening. And that's the idea, to form all these groups, like nowadays are like islands, but we are going to form continents as we keep growing. And it's not about fighting against darkness. It's just by bringing the light, turning the light on. That's all that we need.
Yeah, so I agree. This is going to keep growing. This experiences, these openings. I have a book coming out next year, this coming year, called Making Contact, which is a lot of researchers in the field that I've met sharing their experiences, like Linda Moulton Howe. Do you know her work, Linda Moulton Howe?
Yes, yes.
Grant Cameron. I'll tell him about you too. He might want to interview you. And so somehow, some people don't make the connection between ETs and the spiritual awakening. Of course, they're not necessarily connected, but for a lot of people, they are. Because I talk to some people who have, like, these higher consciousness things, and they don't include these ET realities. But what do you have to say about that? That people don't make that connection?
I will give you this example because I start hearing or listening to my guides during my dream state, because Rama teach you how to remember your dreams and give you certain techniques to enhance your psychic abilities. So one of them is preparing before going to sleep. So you do meditation and you actually declarate, I am going to remember my dreams. In the morning, I am going to remember my dreams. I will know that I am dreaming, and there will always be a companion by beings of light. So by doing this, you start remembering more things because you are giving a declaration. So when I was waking up, then you just don't move. You just recall what you have experienced. And during when I was waking up in the morning, I could still listen to them or hear them speaking to me. And I think that the biggest thing that I learned, it's an example that they gave me, because it looks like I asked, who is God? And they give me this example. Say, okay, look into your body. There are cells. Every cell has a certain amount of consciousness. It has a work to do. It reproduces. So it is a living being. Even every cell is a living being. But this cell, if you zoom out, don't really know that belongs to Agustin, that Agustin lives in Middle East, that it's a pilot, and have no idea about this, no awareness as far as we know. But you are composed of millions or even trillions of these cells. And then say zoom out, and then you will see your region, you will see the continent, you will see the planet. Continue to zoom out, you will see the solar system, you will see the Milky Way galaxy. And they told me the Milky Way galaxy is one cell of the one infinite creator. So God is all that it is. And everything is consciousness. So how are you not going to link spirituality with ETs when everything is connected? We are all connected. Now we have, as humans, and we form a collective unconscious in some way, because we don't really realize that we are all connected at the unconscious level. But as soon as we progress, we are going to form a collective consciousness, and we will understand that we are all connected. If we are all connected, if God is all that it is, it means that me and you are part of God having an experience in this planet, and it is a spiritual experience for growth and expansion because God wanted to have all the experiences. So as soon as we understand that we are all connected and we are one, why are we going to keep fighting against each other? Why we are not going to provide food for those who need food? And why? So all these beings out there are spiritual beings as well, part of all that it is, and they have received the call for help from this planet, which is another living being, and they are here hovering our skies, dealing with us every day, and doing so many things that we are oblivious about. And as I told you, they showed me, and I said, I am going to tell them. So that's it. I was there, and now I'm here, as we all are in some way, because it's not that, oh, no, I consider myself special. I am not. I am like anyone else, but I just had a lot of help to wake up and a lot of experiences to actually understand what is going on. So we are all in the same path, the path of evolution. There is no good or bad people. It's all the same, just having a spiritual experience that is connected to everything. And if we continue on this path of negative behavior, then what we are doing just is damaging ourselves. That's it.
No, I'm very happy you're sharing all this because I think it's time, it's important. And that's what I feel like I'm doing. We're here to wake up and wake each other up because we are part of a greater consciousness. And it's also like different consciousnesses are like different organs in the body, you know, heart, liver, lungs, and they're all doing their own job, but they need to stay connected in order to do, you know, this connected, awakened consciousness, put that all together, you know. So it's exciting that you're here so deeply involved in this work to wake people up. Now, if people want to get in contact with you to do a Zandra, is that possible?
Through what, Sandra?
No, to go out into the, yeah, how could people join you? Oh, and I mean, if you, or you can give it, tell me, I'll pass it on if they want to contact me, if that's easier for you.
Yeah, I can pass it to you. Well, we have a Facebook page, but it's formed like a group of friends. It's nothing professional, you know. It's not a fancy thing. It's just a Facebook page where people just share the information. The name is Awakened Travelers with double L, and I have a YouTube channel with the same name, Awakened Travelers. The logo is a UFO and a guy with like an Arabic guy with a camel. So that's our logo. And I have Instagram with the same name, Awakened Travelers, but we are just in the developing stage. It was more like a private group, but as it's growing so much, now we probably open a place here in Middle East, an office, let's say, to teach people how to make content, because this is only the way I see it, is the only way out, because governments, they don't really want to share this because they don't believe that we are ready. And I agree up to a certain extent, of course. So okay, if you tell me that I'm not ready, I am going to be ready, but I'm going to do it by myself, because I don't need anyone to tell me how things are. I can do it by myself. I'm not going to wait for any president to give me the truth, when the truth is out there, but very close, not far away. So that was another thing that was amazing to me, how so many pilots had so many encounters, and I have my encounters. And these governments tell us that we are just looking for water in Mars. Come on, really? These beings are here. Why you build a telescope of billions of dollars when you can make contact in your house?
do you think they're showing up more and more these days for people to?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what they have. That's a message that they gave us and to the drama group. They're going to be shown more and more in South America. It's big time what is happening there. It is happening here. It's happening everywhere. You just need to get the face out of the phone and look at the sky. And what is happening is that the vibration of the planet is getting higher and higher, and we are reaching their level of vibration more and more. So their vehicles are going to be seen more. And of course, they know that it's time for us to know all this. They have knocked the doors of the governments, and they have had no results because they don't really want to share this information. So what we do is we prepare ourselves. We are open to anyone. There are many groups out there. The information is very, very open actually. So people should stop thinking about the bad things that some others are doing and focus on bringing the light in themselves and having their own contacts.
Well, I'd love to come out there to the Middle East and maybe even do a workshop on DNA rebalancing and consciousness awakening and go out into the desert and experience this, because I think the desert's the best place to have.
It's amazing. Yeah, beautiful energy there. Uh,
Nobody
it's very
bothers you.
clear.
You just go out there and you're fine. I mean, you find your own place out there and you're.
Yeah, we have our own place, and that's it. It's as I tell you, it's just having the intention. It's the only thing you need. Ask and you shall be given. It's in one old book, and if people want, they can make contact. Just go out in the balcony and ask from the heart, not only the mind, from the heart. I want to have proof of existence, and they will give you the proof. The first way that they show themselves is during the dream state, which is the most easy way for them to approach us. So I could say all of us approach the dream state, but of course we translate the information in the way that the mind can accept it, not actually remembering these beings from other planets with different shapes.
Right. No, I agree. It starts in the dream state. I've had many dreams of contact and downloading new awareness, but I'm so happy you're so open and interested and part of this transformation. It's
Yeah. Well,
you're
what else
doing,
could we be doing?
you're doing your job. You're doing your mission.
Absolutely. And I also am doing a QHHT, a quantum hypnosis therapy. And people always ask, most 99.9% ask, what is my mission?
Mhm.
And when we talk to the higher self, the mission is given. And then are you going to put hands on the mission, or are you going to keep living in the illusion of this material planet that is not going to take you further? So if you came here to do something, well, do it.
Right. No, we've come here to do something for sure. Something different to awaken humanity to this higher consciousness. So, what do you think the future looks like? We'll wrap up here, but just tell me what you see coming from your visions of to planet Earth.
Well, I'm the way I know that things work, we attract the reality. We create our own reality. So each one is going to be living in the reality that they are creating. So for me, I'm living this reality of making contact, of being around people, of like-minded people, having all these amazing conversations like with you right now.
Thank you.
And that's my now moment. What is going to happen later, it doesn't even matter. Alan, it doesn't even matter because we are eternal beings. We go in and out of life, of material life, because we continue to exist. And yeah, if you read the Law of One, or if you remember the Law of One, it's actually what is going on. It was meant to be. This, just to put an example, this COVID thing that people see as very negative, for me, it's been great. I think it's part of our awakening. We are getting to know each other big time with this. We are having big spiritual awakenings due to this issue. And it's stated there. If it was not COVID, it was going a war, it was going to be a meteorite, the collective unconscious mind is creating this event, is creating this reality, mostly because we only live in fear. Fear is the main motive or the main thing that moves this humanity. We are so engraved into this fear-based behavior all the time. We fear this, we fear that, we fear death, we fear life, we fear the governments, we fear the neighbor. Just, we need to start loving more and just come to inform this actually collective consciousness, knowing all this. And what is happening, it was meant to happen. If stronger things happen in the future, it's our creation. So we need to understand that we create our reality. So I cannot really say something negative is going to happen in the future or something beautiful. It just depends on us. It depends on us, but it's going to be perfect because from a certain level, everything is perfect and it's happening at the right time, in the right place.
Well, I can see something really has shifted you. I mean, I'm sure you were a good person before, but you're on a mission. And I think this is what a lot of people watching are also part of. You know, this is what I want to create and put out to the world, just exactly what you're saying. And from many different angles, people are waking up to this collective awareness that we are definitely one planet and we need to raise our vibration if we're going to grow up and stop the separation and the fear. And I feel at some point we will have open contact and the ETs will be part of our everyday reality.
Absolutely. It is happening. It is happening. It's happening to me. It's happening to you. It's happening to the neighbor. It is happening right now. It's going to be more and more. As soon as we stop being in fear and we start sharing all this and start creating these islands of awareness and spiritual expansion, it's going to be like the virus that we're having now, you see? And it's going to spread like a wildfire. And that's it.
Right. Like the wildfires that are spreading, these will be wildfires of the mind.
Spiritual wildfires. That's it.
Yes.
Of light.
It's happening. I want to tell people I'm doing 2 more programs about ET contact today. One at 6 p.m. with Geraldine. What's her last name? But anyway, she's had lots of contact, lots of awakening. That's 6 p.m. on this channel. Also at 8:30 p.m. New York time, I'm going to do another higher contact with Phil Gruber, Augustine. So I hope you can see there. That's today.
Well, yeah, you said today?
New York time, 8:30. If you can.
I won't be able because we're going to be in the desert, making our own contact there.
Tune into us then in the desert, okay?
Yeah, well, we cannot take any devices tonight, so there won't be any communication.
Well, tune in psychically then, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. If we experience it, the whole collective unconscious mind is going to be experiencing it as well.
Great. No, I'm excited about all that. And yeah, thank you for your time here. I got lots of good feedback on the chat here today, you know, with lots of people watching. Just keep a pure heart and good intentions. You know, some people say same teachings as the guides of Paul Selig, who's a good friend of mine, although he shies away from saying ETs. It's lots of people are saying this, and it's just about living it, really, we have to live this truth, this reality.
Absolutely, absolutely. Get out of the closet. People say, "Oh, you're not afraid of being fired." They say, "Look, I cannot be in fear, or we just need to break that cycle. You know, just be open, honest, love, and that's it."
Well, yeah, we can't live in fear. Even this whole pandemic, it's another level of fear. You know, it's it's
But
something.
again, it was meant to be, Alan. It was meant to be. Fear, it's being caused to bring the vibration down, to stop people from the awakening, but it's part of the process of the growth and expansion of this humanity, and that's it.
It's to confront the fear and see how the fear can shift us to these new realities.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time here, Augustine. And will you come back on when you have more contact, or after, if anything happens in the desert tonight? Can you?
I'm always open to share whatever happens in this environment of contact, and yeah, not hiding anything.
Thank you. I just want to say it's tonight, 6 p.m. I'm interviewing Geraldine Orozco about DNA activation and the transformation that's happening there. Then at 8:30 p.m., I'm going to be talking to lots of people about their contact experience. Join us. I put the Zoom in the chat if you want. And
Yeah. I have this conversation that I have with this being from the sixth density in my YouTube channel, which is again Awakened Travelers with double L, and the whole conversation is there. So if anyone can want to go there, I have 22 subscribers. It's not about having subscribers; it's just about putting the information out, and if they want to hear, that's it.
well, we'll do some more shows. Okay, we'll do some more to get this. Get more people aware of what's happening in this world. Okay.
Beautiful. I have many stories to tell.
Oh, I want to hear more stories next time. Thanks for your time. It's been really great connecting with you and just being connected to that vibration that you're putting out there. So,
Yeah, my pleasure to be here. It's great to be connected with you as well.
okay, yes, and say hello to your host out there where you are, a good friend of mine,
Yeah,
and thanks again for being so open about your process, because I think it's helps other people come forward and talk about their
I think
process.
so. Yeah.
Thank you. Alan Steinfeld for New Realities. Thanks for tuning in. I was talking to Agustin Rodriguez, and if you got any questions, just put in the chat. If you want to do a super chat to support the station, that's welcome too. And see you at 6 p.m. if you're tuning in that time. Okay, talk to you soon. Thanks very much.
Talk to you soon. Bye bye.